I want y'all to see this quote by the wonderful former President Barack Obama. Don't wait for good things to happen to you. If you go out and make some good things happen, you will fill the world with hope. You will fill yourself with hope. I cannot stress this enough that you gotta make things happen. Don't wait for them to happen to you, because that's been one of the challenges of this pandemic, is that a lot of us have had to stay at home and figure out ways to be at home yet still engage our communities, engage our friends, and navigate all of that. And that's challenging. But in spite of that, I feel like this is still a good quote to look to remind ourselves that, we take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for making things happen. And they can often be a result of something serendipitous. But again, if you're just waiting for them to happen, that puts the responsibility on somebody else. And it really is on each of us to make things happen. All right. With that, hopefully you will be making things happen. Check it out. Internships are opening back up. We've got lots and lots of exciting opportunities. You see this photo of your classmate, Asher Crouch, from last school year at Via Productions, working on an MLG&W commercial. So if you see the commercial on TV where there is a woman receiving a phone call saying that she needs to pay her utility bill and it might be fraud, Asher worked on that commercial set. We have these options for you to get out and learn in our community from community partners. And again, Asher reached out last school year and met some people at Via Productions, and so he got to work on that set. I'd love to help you connect with a community partner to pursue an internship in an area that interests you. We have a computer software that will actually do all of that connecting. It's called Emblaze. Some of you used it last year. If you are in 10th grade, you probably didn't use it last year, but that's a tool that we use to connect with internships. Again, there it is, Emblaze. You can see the logo right there underneath the photo of Asher. It's an app that you can download on your phone, and you can also access Emblaze on a regular computer or using the browser on your iPad. And we use it so that you can see what is available, what opportunities there are in different fields, and also to track hours, because our internships are paid. We are very, very lucky that we have the opportunity to have this incredible grant that can pay our students up to $1,000 after they complete a certain number of internship hours. So we have to track those hours, and that's what the software allows us to do. All right. That's a little bit about Emblaze and internships. When we're finished meeting, I'm going to send you guys information about how to proceed with pursuing an internship. So just hang tight if you're thinking to yourself, I know what I want to do, and she hasn't said what to do yet. Just hang tight, because you'll get that. Some community partners that are open to internships right now, these are just some of the examples that we have. Society Skate Park, Jody Brewer Designs. She is a clothing designer who specializes or has specialized in wedding gowns recently, but also does all kinds of costume design and various types of clothing design. Amazing WYXR 91.7 Crosstown Radio in the building downstairs. That's an opportunity, as well as the Well at Church Health. which I know that some of you all have visited before. It's an incredible after school and childcare available there for people who are visiting Church Health. And also Paint Memphis. And this is funny, Paint Memphis, they're a great organization. They're actually looking for someone to run their social media. So that could be a really, really good experience for anybody interested in PR, in writing social media, in nonprofit. And also the Hub Automotive, our favorites, so Jennifer and Andrew over there at the Hub, they are open as well. And of course, there are more opportunities in the Emblaze app if you are curious. Now, this is what's different. We have internships available here at Crosstown High. And these are not the only ones that are available, but they're just the only ones on your screen right now. In operations and in technology with Mr. Holcomb, and helping in the main office. I do know that there's also, in addition to helping in the main office, there are also some duties caring for the gardens here. So that's another opportunity for students to get hours and help our community and help our school. You know, this is really, this is an extension of your home, you know, your home away from home, your school is. And so, you know, it's really wonderful when we can feel all the more invested in this place, in this special place, by having internship opportunities here at school. So that's one option for summer resources. And like I said, I'll send you a link as to how to proceed with that when we're all finished. Now, I know that some of you, especially if you're a junior, you are hearing from your Brains and Brawn Next Steps coach that you got to get those volunteer hours in. Okay, so we have some connections to different organizations that would like to have volunteers. And you can see these students here who totally did this volunteer work on their own. They didn't need my help or anybody's help. You know, you see Mr. Weaver and some of your classmates who volunteered last fall at Toy Drive for Toys for Tots, banking those volunteer hours and feeling like, you know, feeling what that Barack Obama quote tells us, which is that we fill ourselves with hope when we get out and help people, when we get out and do something. I imagine that all of these students probably left that event feeling like, yeah, we did something and we helped them. So we would love to connect you with volunteer opportunities. And we have lots of different choices for organizations. They just popped right up on your screen. Out Memphis, Memphis Athletic Ministries, Theater Memphis. Oh my gosh, Theater Memphis is looking for a lot of help right now for their production. I see Naomi Standler is stoked, as is Vera Brown. Right, Theater Memphis, they need some stage crew. They are hurting for it. I will tell you that. So if you are interested in that experience, that is something to seek out. My Sister's House, which is a really great organization that helps people who are transgender and who are experiencing challenges within that to be able to have some support outside of maybe their own home. Room in the Inn, which just opened a new facility. Oh my gosh, they're going to have summer camps this summer. They need counselors, I'll tell you that. Dorothy Day House, which you all may be familiar with, for families who are experiencing homelessness in our city. There are several locations now. They always need help with tutoring young children, with preparing meals, with some shopping here and there. There are various ways that we can support them. At Manna House, same deal. Always need some help for our people in our city, in our community who are experiencing homelessness. Manna House is a house of hospitality, and they are always looking for help. And I was going to say who doesn't love the Memphis Humane Society, but if you're allergic to animals or animals are not your thing, you may not love it. I personally do. So they love to have volunteers come and do a training. I think the training is maybe the third Saturday of every month. You do a training. And then after that, you can sign up to volunteer and go and walk dogs and visit with cats and help out the community by helping those animals. And then of course, Memphis Rocks is incredible. They're in Soulsville. They have a clothing closet. They do lunches. They're really doing a great job of serving their community. So those are some options. You can track your volunteer hours if you would like to using Emblaze, but you don't have to, but it's an option, it's there. And then the other, whoops, I'm going back one more. The other thing that I'm definitely not going back. Hang on, guys. Whoa, we are jumping way ahead. Let me see if I can fix this. I apologize. Spoiler alert, you guys just saw the whole thing. That wasn't fun. Anyway, for volunteer opportunities, I've got links for you as well. There's a really great website that you can go to called Volunteer Odyssey. And if you didn't catch that, it's okay. I'll send it to you. Volunteer Odyssey is just like this incredible, like they have a calendar and they will have openings for all of these places, and you can actually just sign up to volunteer there through Volunteer Odyssey. I know that I have seen in the past, Lucy J's Bakery downstairs often is on that list, and they have shifts open for different people who want to work. And I know that you can just sign up through the website. And the thing that's really helpful about using Volunteer Odyssey is that they will tell you in advance, like, what you need to know. Like, hey, don't wear flip-flops. Hey, wear a hat, you know, just so that you're prepared and you don't come there feeling like you're not ready. So again, Volunteer Odyssey, and I'll send you that link in a little bit. All right, now, part-time jobs. You see this incredible crew of some of your classmates working at Global Cafe. Now, I didn't have anything to do with that. I take zero credit because these students did this on their own. Incredible Global Cafe at, you know, downstairs in the concourse. I mean, look at this crew. They are really excited for more crosstown students to potentially apply to come and work at Global Cafe. So there are some places where you can work that have reached out to our school, right? Global Cafe being one of them, and said, we would really love to have some crosstown high kids come and work, right? So Global is definitely one. And again, I had nothing to do with that. That was all them. But there's a list on the screen right now. Central Barbecue, Slim and Huskies. I know that we already have some students working at Slim and Huskies. We should maybe invade. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying they're hiring. The Memphis Zoo is hiring. And one of the jobs that they have listed right now, which is really awesome, is to be the photographer at the front gate when you enter the zoo and there's someone there saying, hey, you know, would you all like a family picture? And then they take your picture, and then while you're walking around in the zoo, they print it out, and then they try to sell it to guests. And so that's another option that's on there. But the zoo is hiring for all different positions. I did see on their website too, I think that they were hiring a face painter, which I thought was really, really awesome. What a wonderful, you know, potentially, gosh, that would just be so much fun just to like think about the growth that you could have as an artist if you were only working in face paint. That'd be wild. Yeah, so REI, Old Navy, Walnut Grove Animal Clinic. I know they need kennel assistants. So you have like all of these choices here on the list, and the ones that have like a little asterisk by them, that means that they are, they're businesses that have contacted our school and said, hey, who do you have who you think would be, or actually maybe not who do you have, but they would say, let your students know that we are hiring because we'd really love to have them. You know, that's one of the really wonderful things about being at our school is that we're invited to work in these places. Now, Central Barbecue that's on this list is the second one. I can tell you guys that that the owner told me that there are many, many, many different possibilities working for Central Barbecue because they are a large entity. They own an event space that they rent out for like weddings. And so they need someone to help with event planning and holding the events. And then they also would love to teach students who want to learn how to actually grill and smoke and cook this barbecue. And then they also have positions in their food trucks that they are going to get going, and they'd love to hire students for that too. So they vary. And there's also, of course, like office work that they have if you're interested in the business side of the food service. So those are some options there. I encourage you guys to reach out to these different businesses directly. Like you can pretty much Google any of them, and then they'll have the application on there as an option. So I encourage you all to do that. You can screenshot this if you want to, just so that you can remember them all. But I can share the slides with you later too. All right, moving on. Now, current juniors who are rising seniors might be a little bit, tired of hearing about it, but this is important for both you and for the rising juniors, the current sophomores. Okay, so ACT and SAT, they are a thing. The current juniors can tell you sophomores that they have taken one of these tests, sometimes two of these tests this spring, and you will do the same next spring. And they will likely also tell you that it's best to be prepared. So what we offer are ACT and SAT prep courses, and they are during the summer. And they are taught by our college counseling partners at Brains and Brawn. Okay. And if you're in 10th grade right now, and you're, oh yes.
Quick thing, this is all juniors. We're going to talk to the 10th graders when they're finished with testing in a little bit.
Sorry, thank you. I'm glad to know that. Okay, so hey, all juniors, I'm not gonna bore you because you already know it's your not your first rodeo, but I do want you to know, because there are some of you who are planning on taking these tests this summer, whether you are looking to raise your score as a composite score or you want a super score by taking your highest scores in areas to make one super score. We've got these prep courses, okay? So this is for rising juniors and seniors, you all being the seniors. So each of these courses, they're in June and July, and there's one in August as well. They culminate just before an ACT, and I think there's one SAT, maybe two. And so there's a 1 week course that's like really intensive every day, a 2 week course that is Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks, and then a 4 week course that I cannot summon the schedule for, but we'll see it on the screen for in just a moment. And so, like I said, each time the course is over, like you'll have the last day of your course, and then the next day you'll take the test. So you'll be prepared. It includes classroom instruction, and that's here at Crosstown in the building, homework and a diagnostic test. And then, so here's the thing. Don't tune out, because this is important. So the cost is $395. But you see that ellipsis there, the 3 dots? Brains and Brawn is offering scholarships for Crosstown students based on income, and no matter who you are and whether or not you are on a scholarship, if you finish all of the work and complete all of the coursework and take the test, you get that money back. So you get a full refund, which means that this course is basically free. And that's kind of crazy. So I encourage you all to talk to your family and ask about the summer schedule, and think about what it could look like for you. Now on the screen, I bet it's really small on your screen, but I'll send it to you all again. I know I've sent it out before. We have the dates and the information about the actual particular tests and when those test dates are. Okay. And then you can also see, the hours of the courses. If you're taking a 2-week program where it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're only there for 2 hours in the morning. It's 8 to 10 in the morning, but then you also have homework to do. And again, the refund is issued when all of the coursework is finished. So that means you actually do the homework. You actually do the work because, you guys are rising seniors. You're ready. It's time. We got to get you guys ready. So think about what this could look like for you. Maybe which part of the summer you would think about committing to this if you are taking the tests over the summer. Oh, and it's not on your screen, but I'm telling you this now that I sent you an email and you need to check it because this week is the deadline to sign up for the ACT and the SAT in June. The deadline for one, I believe the SAT is Thursday and the ACT is Friday. So make sure that you're signed up. If you are not, check your email. I sent you a link so that you can sign up. Yeah, reminder. That's a thing. All right. Last thing that is kind of new. Actually, it's very new. They're called Summer Learning Experiences. We like acronyms here, so we also call them SLEs, right? So a summer learning experience could be like any opportunity that's out there that exists that you could engage with and learn from, right? So one of the wonderful things that we have to offer through these SLEs is that we have a little bit of money. So we can offer scholarships for students who want to try something, to learn something. And maybe the something that they want to do costs some money. Maybe it's an online course, maybe it's a camp, maybe it's, it could be all kinds of different things. But we have up to $250 per student. So that's an option for you. We would love to be supportive of your academic pursuits and just kind of general growth pursuits. And I realize that that's a little bit ambiguous. And you might be thinking like, well, does what I'm interested in qualify as a summer learning experience? Maybe, probably. You got to try to, communicate to us what that would look like. And you would basically fill out an application so that we can hear a little bit about what you're interested in trying, and then have a conversation and determine, what would, how that would further your growth. You can definitely apply for this scholarship before you're accepted into a program, but in order to receive the $250 or up to, you do have to show, of course, that you were accepted. And then at the end, at the end of the summer or at the end of your course, you would submit a short reflection on your experience and what it was that you learned, whether it was, I learned I really don't think that's for me, or oh my gosh, I had the most incredible experience. And so some examples that are out there, right? Bridge builders. I know a lot of you all have participated in different programs at Bridges, whether it was on a council or one of their camp programs. Bridge builders would be an example of that. Child and infant first aid, CPR, AED certification through the Red Cross, like that's a really valuable skill to have, especially for those of you who are out there babysitting, which can it's kind of crazy how much money you can make babysitting. But this can definitely, of course, like make you all the more qualified to be around young people. But, life happens and it's always good to be prepared. Speaking of, swim lessons at the Croc or the YMCA, for those of you who are not swimmers, not everybody is. And it's an opportunity that's really important as far as, of course, safety, but also just to be able to enjoy cooling off in the summer, or if you want to join the swim team at Crosstown. So that would be another example of that. Now, Rhodes College has a writing institute. You see the words Rhodes College and you might think, but I'm not in college, I'm in high school. But this is actually for high schoolers. Rebecca Finlayson, who has worked in collaboration with Ms. Coleman and with lots of our students, is just an incredible writer, incredible teacher. And I highly recommend checking out this writing institute, whether you enjoy writing or you want to improve your writing, or you just want to make sure that you stay in practice. That's another good one. Oh my gosh, Mock Trial Academy at Rhodes College. Again, this is for high school students. It is at Rhodes College, but it is for high school students. So I encourage you to look into that as well for all of those of you who are interested in pursuing careers in the courtroom. And then, okay, so Summer Bridge Program at University of Memphis, not to be confused with Bridge Builders, because they both have the word bridge. Summer Bridge Program, this last one, is one that is for high school students, and specifically for high school students who are interested in pursuing careers in education as teachers. So if any of you feel like you are drawn to that and that's in your future, or if you just would like to get that experience, I encourage you to look into that one as well. Yeah. So again, like with these summer learning experiences, you're going to fill out a form that we will send to you. And that way you can, get the ball rolling and figure out what that could look like, what those summer experiences could look like. All right. And so I will end with this wonderful quotation from one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver, who writes a lot of poems about nature. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one and precious life? And so I will modify that and say, tell me what it is that you plan to do with your one wild and precious summer of 2021. Let's do this, because we don't want to sleep on this. We already know what it's like to stay home for a year and feel disconnected. We want to get connected, right? So it looks like Miss Ginger was so kind to put our application for summer learning experiences in the chat. And I'm going to look at these questions quickly just to see what is here in case there are any that need to be answered. If you have questions, drop them in the chat. Okay, so yes, thank you for clarifying about volunteer hours. Brains and Brawn does recommend 70 hours, I believe. Yes, and some love for theater members. That's a good question. So Noah has a question in the chat about whether or not he would want to work at the zoo or do volunteer work. Okay, and so here's the thing, is that, when you are out of school for the summer, it is important to sleep in sometimes, at least at first, and really enjoy that transition into summertime. But it feels good to have a little bit more structure. I think those of you who have come back to school in the past couple of months are probably feeling that, like, it's kind of nice to have this routine. Yeah, so I think that you can actually do both. You don't have to work all day every day when you get a job in the summertime. And you also don't have to volunteer all day every day. It might even be that you just volunteer 1 or 2 days a week. And for work, it could be that you work 3 days out of the week. You can decide what feels like it's the right fit for you. And I think you'll know that when you feel overwhelmed, or it's not feeling like, or it's feeling, yeah, when you feel overwhelmed, like you're going to know that that's when you kind of got to scale back a little bit. And yeah, and so I see another question. Oh, Paul says, can you help me sign back into my Blaze account? Okay, so here's the thing, juniors. I'm so glad you asked that, Paul. Okay, so right now, at this moment at 1:02, today on May 4th, everybody's Blaze account is deactivated. And I did that. It was not because anybody like was in trouble or anything like that. It's just deactivated because we haven't been using it. So what the plan is that I am going to, of course, send you more information, send you a form to fill out. And part of that form is you answering the question of whether or not you want it reactivated. Because, you know, some of you might already have a job, you might already have a volunteer opportunity, and you might be thinking, you know, I'm really good. I don't need to turn on Blaze. I don't think I'll use it. That's totally fine. But for those of you who think you want to go ahead and pursue an internship opportunity, or you're looking to track volunteer hours, for sure, no problem. And that's in the form. So Paul, when I'm about to copy this link, I thought I had it in the presentation, but I apologize. I'm going to copy it and put it in the chat in just a moment. So yes, you can have that account reactivated.
While you are looking for that, I'm going to make a quick PSA for our 1:30 senior year planning sessions. We've got several different rooms happening and different teachers or staff members are going to be hosting those. We've had lots of different ideas and great ideas about things that you want as part of your senior year, whether that is a trip or amazing senior photos, which actually, speaking of Miss Keys being here, Miss Keys' husband, Jamie Harmon, who some of you may know from the America photo booth, he is going to be doing all of he's like our official senior year photographer, and he's going to be in a session this afternoon and is looking for ideas for how you want those to go. We've got a senior retreat that we're planning, of course, prom, graduation, senior t-shirts, a senior gift. I sent you an email earlier with links to the Zooms where all those are happening. Please come to one of them. And that doesn't mean that you are signing up forever to be a part of that team, but we need your ideas and we will need your help. Everybody is busy. Everybody has either a full-time job or full-time student and jobs. So that means it has to be a team effort. So please come to those sessions and we would love to get your ideas. And those will be starting in 25 minutes at 1:30.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ginger. All right, so in the chat, there's a link that I put in there, and underneath the link, it says form above. Okay, so everybody's going to go ahead and tap on that and fill it out. I might even send it to your email as well, just to make sure that you don't forget about it, that it is on your to-do list, because you know, we gotta be thinking about what this summer can look like. The summer before your senior year, this is the last summer, more or less. I mean, this is your last summer of high school. And I know that that's kind of hard to grasp onto right now, but it's, you know, next summer, you'll have graduated. You will be high school graduates. It's just insane. It's going to fly by so quickly. So we want to make sure that everybody is thinking about what that could look like. And feels like, you know, I want to make sure that you guys feel like you have some tools to find what you need. I'm about to add one more link into the chat, and that is for Volunteer Odyssey. And that's for those of you who are curious about getting some volunteer hours and connecting with different organizations that, you know, you want to be supportive of, that you want to help. Again, you know, it always makes us as individuals feel like we have contributed, like we are a part of our community when when we volunteered. So I want to make sure that you have that on there. Oh, hold on. You said that there's a blank question on page 2. That's weird. Oh, I see. You can just write anything in there. That's funny. All right. Thanks for pointing that out, Holden, because that could trip everybody up and then they'd go, I don't want to do this. But it's really important that that you guys, take a moment and think about what that can look like. That's one thing that's really hard right now is thinking ahead, and thinking that far ahead. Oftentimes we're just concerned about what's happening today or what assignments are due this week, or, is the weather going to be nice this weekend so that I can hang at the park with my friends? And I'm not saying that for y'all, I'm saying it for me. But I know you guys like to hang at the park with your friends. However, it's really important to plant these little seeds by answering questions. Again, Holden pointed out that there's an empty question in section 2. Just put whatever you'd like in there. But yeah, do you guys have any more questions that you want to add to the chat? All right.